Hello everyone, I'm sitting here with Handtke. Thank you for taking the time. And before we start, I would like you to introduce yourself shortly, how you came into contact with, in your case, this world of ultralight backpacking.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Leon, for having me. And I run a little outdoor shop in south of Munich in Bavaria since 5 years now. And but I'm much longer in the outdoor business and work for several shops and several brands. And we hiked the Pacific Crest Trail 2017, and that was the starting point for Chris Packs, because that was my first experience with really lightweight gear. And I hiked all over the world with pretty heavy gear, since that was common in the last 20 years. And since this trip I was I started with ultralight tents and packs and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are originally from this area?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you always hiked since you...
I hiked, climbed, paddled, skied, and pretty much in this area or all over the world.
Yeah, cool. When I say the word lightness, what comes to mind for you?
Lightness, in my case, it was a mind-blowing experience when you start with the traditional heavy backpack gear, where you hiked with 20 kilos or more, and you, even if you're fit, you're pretty sore in the evening, or everything hurts, and you're very slow. And so with this lightweight backpacking gear, it's really a new sport for hiking and trekking, because you're faster, you can cover more miles each day, and you're not as screwed up in the evening with the traditional gear. Yeah. So you often have this feeling of flying around the trail, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna talk about the first definition of the word lightness, which is the lack of weight, which in your case might be the most fitting. Normally in this part I like to rage a bit about how our buildings have become so heavy, and how humans used to carry everything they had when they were nomads, and now look how we live like when we look at new buildings. In your case, obviously, the carrying everything you have is still a big topic. And it kind of turned into a hobby and also into a job for you. Why is this a whole discipline to keep your bags as light as possible?
It's getting more important when you do longer hikes. So usually for a day hike or a hot trip on the weekend, it's not as important, because for 1, 2 or 3 days, it not really care. But if you hike weeks or months, then the impact on your body is much higher, and super important to get the weight down, because it's much healthier for you and your body. Mm-hmm. So that's the main reason for long distance hikes.
Could you... I mean, I don't know how long this hike was, the Pacific Crest hike, but could you imagine living in a tent for a while? Because that's basically what it is. You really live in there for months on end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to, but it's not super realistic here. But yeah, I have no problem to live in a tent for a while. I mean, on these long distance hikes, you usually had a very small tent because it's the lightest option, but it's not really comfortable to live in it for just to live in there. So normally you hike, you eat, and you sleep, and next day it repeats. Yeah, these tents or yurts or I mean that works. Yeah.
It's always a question of comfort, right? Because you say you stay in a tent when you know that you're active throughout the whole day, then it's okay. But if you would just do the things you would do here in the city, it's much harder to not have the comfort you have in a tent. I guess a yurt is kind of an in-between between the houses we have and this mobile tent. So it's kind of a question of the mobility getting less and less. What are like the first pieces of gear where you would cut the weight off, or where do you think it makes a lot of sense, even just on a day hike?
Yeah, the first thing is with a backpack. You can there are a lot of backpacks who are super light and have all the essential features you need. So a couple of years ago, the most day hiking packs were pretty overload with tension systems, back padding systems, and a lot of pockets, a lot of zippers, and you don't need this. It's and it's not even more comfortable because it makes things complicated when you have, where is this part in this pocket and stuff. So this is one thing where you can easily use a pack half of the weight of a traditional hiking pack. So that's pretty easy. And the next stuff for day hikers, it's clothing and all these kind of jackets and stuff. So when you're on a day hike, you usually go on good weather, not when the weather is super bad. And so you don't need a 3-layer €800 hard shell just to be protected. So it's a simple windbreaker will work normally for day trips in the summer. So that's a lot of. So most of the people have too heavy and too much and too heavy stuff with it. For sure, not for winter trips or so that's different.
Often it's also about that you think about what could happen or the weather could change. So I'm going to also pack this and this for in case something happens, right? So it's also a mindset of, I'm going to take a bit of a risk.
So people are usually over equipped, and I think especially in Germany. So every case had to be covered, but the downside is you have a big pack with a lot of gear. It's super. The hiking is super hard, and the fun is not always given.
True. And then I guess there's like utility for making food. That's also something, right? And water. I guess water is a big factor with weight, right? So that's also a thing you can't really cut down too much. You have to have.
Not every time, but it's. For example, you can take a small filter with you and filter your water on the hike. So you don't have to carry 2 liters of water, especially here in the Alps. Normally there is water everywhere, and you just have a small water bottle and take a filter with you, and you can filter your water on the go. It's super fast, super easy, super safe. And
so you usually do that when you hike?
When I need a lot of water. So it always depends. So in the higher mountains, you can have a problem with this, and you have to carry water. But if possible, I always take a filter with me.
in what case do you think lightness shouldn't be the priority, or shouldn't even be thought of, you know?
Yeah, the first part is where the weather is really bad, and or you do winter hikes or you do alpine expeditions. Every time the weather can get really bad, or the wind gets really strong, the rain for several days. These lightweight concepts is on the limit. So you can cut the weight on every tour, I guess, you want to plan or you want to make. Mm-hmm. But on climbing trips, when you have a lot of climbing gear, this can't get really light, because you need ropes, you need binders and stuff. So that's always heavy. Mm-hmm. Or for winter hikes, you need a tent that's absolute reliable with strong winds and high amounts of snow. Mm-hmm. You can't do this with a super lightweight tent with 600 grams. That's not possible. Mm-hmm. And for sure, that's really dangerous if you want to try this. Yeah.
What's the difference between those tents? The ones that are ultralight and the ones that are good for the winter? Is it thicker fabric, or what is it?
So the super ultralight tents you use for summer hikes with a occasional rain shower. The one-person tents, it's about 600 grams or less. Mm-hmm. But they don't have poles. You use it with your trekking poles that you already carry with you. And that's the main factor. And on the other side, for extreme stable mountaineering tents, you have these geodetic design with more poles for additional wind stability. Mm-hmm. And these tents are also lighter than 20 years ago, but there is a limit and you can't push it any farther. There are new materials like Dyneema, where you can even cut the weight and get a more stable tent from the material. But when you have different sections of poles, that's the limit for to get super light.
Yeah. I'm thinking of this North Face tent somehow, right? It was at some point a big invention, this geodesic kind.
It was from Buckminster Fuller, this architect who built this tent, and that was a long time the standard for mountaineering tents, it still is in the newest version. It's a fantastic tent for mountaineering stuff, and when you're going to go Mount Everest or
that's when you see the pictures.
Do these alpine expeditions. It's a perfect tent.
Yeah. Okay, and then I guess with these alpine expeditions, you also always have this 3-layer system, right?
You need warmer clothes, you need down jackets, and not the lightweight ones, so thicker ones. So you have more volume and more weight to carry. So there is you can have these alpine descents with super fast mountaineers who say, okay, I need lighter gear that take always only the essentials, and so that I can be faster and safer. But usually you have to be very super fit for this, because you can't take any mistakes or failures.
So you kind of keep warm by moving in a way, right? That sounds risky. But normally you have a thermal layer, down jacket, and a hard shell outside that is for rain and wind, or that's how it works, right? Because in a way that's also a form of architecture, the clothing, if you think about it. Because a house also has a layer for rain protection, insulation, and so it's a whole nother form of mobility if you think about the architecture is actually your clothes. So I think that's an interesting correlation also.
Yeah, and you see also the stuff who makes jackets, for example, Lightos, taking less pockets, or less pockets is the main thing, and thinner materials. But this is also always a compromise between durability, longevity, and super lightness.
Yeah, like this ripstop nylon, super thin. I have a jacket like that. Like, okay, when I touch a thorny bush, it might rip open.
Yeah, or even if you want to carry it with a heavy backpack, it has to be more abrasion resistant, and you can't do this with this super light stuff. Yeah.
What are the main materials that are used in ultralight gear?
In gear, especially, it's seal nylon. It's a nylon with silicone impregnated. That's common for tents, and for sure Dyneema is a hot thing for tents and packs. When you use the Dyneema, it's always very pricey. You easily can pay for a tent 800 to 1,000 euros for one person tent. Yeah, and packs, for sure, it's Dyneema and this new ultra material from EcoPack. You can recycle this stuff, and it's always it's also abrasion resistant like Dyneema. Super light, super strong, and that's the hot stuff for gear, for packs and tents, and also these small accessory bags to pack and to use for inside the pack. Carbon fibers for poles and tent poles. Yeah.
And then in the kitchen utilities, it's often titanium.
Titanium,
right?
Yeah. For long distance hikes in the summer, titanium is the way to go, because it's super light. It's really fast from the burner, so the pot gets hot really fast, and that is good for but if you use a gas canister, then you use less gas.
It's funny that these super light materials are often quite like high tech. I guess Dyneema is quite hard to produce, or that's probably why it's expensive. And I think it's also interesting that it's one of the rare cases where the lighter something is, the more expensive it is, which in other topics of life is not really the case, right?
Yeah.
So for some people that's like a brain switch, like, okay, I pay much more for this light thing. And then also when you have a camera and stuff, or I remember it used to be like this weight is a like it shows quality. If something has weight, it's quality. So I'm very interested in this aspect that lightness becomes so valuable in a way. But then obviously there's also the topic of how much resources have to be used to produce this ultra light, really expensive material, right? But I never used Dyneema. I guess you have used it quite a lot. Maybe, do you think it's worth the price?
It's definitely has a long product life. But there are also downsizes for a tent, for example. It's super strong, but it's not so small packable like a seal nylon tent. And in my experience, if you want to do a really long hike like the Pacific Crest Trail, where you're on the trail for 5 to 6 months, the tent is, it's common that the tent is it's not in the best conditions after this trail. So and it don't care. In my opinion, it doesn't be a matter if it's Dyneema or seal nylon. But Seal nylon is Dyneema, it's the tacky super stuff. So there are a lot of customers who say, okay, it's a once in a lifetime trip for me, and I don't care. So, and
I want the lightest tent.
I want the lightest, I want the best, and and even the best, it's not indestructible. So you always need the experience how to pitch the tent in the wind, for example, or how to take care of them, use a ground sheet and protect the very thin floor. And you have to learn this. So it's like often with sporting goods, but I think with every other item you have to take care of them. It's not, and how you have to know how to use it. So
I'm thinking of this Z-Packs tent. I don't know, I think I've seen that quite a lot. But do you have like absolute favorite essential gear that you take on trips, no matter what kind of trip it is? That like
there is when for every trip, so for day hikes, for example, and for long hikes, I always use a soft bottle. So it's a foldable water bottle, and super light. It's much lighter than the traditional water bottles, and you can pack it away if you don't need it anymore. So you don't have this bulky stuff in your pack. So that's a really good thing that everyone can use, and I think everyone can likes it. And there is you can combine that with a filter system. The main thing with all this lightweight stuff, use less equipment and use it for more opportunities. So when you say you have a base weight, so without food, without water, and without gas, when you want to reach 5 kilos, for example, you have to really think about it, what to take, what to leave.
You said 5 kilos. Is that like the average base weight that you are looking for normally, or?
5 kilo, you can say it's super ultralight. So there's ultralight and there's super ultralight. And with super ultralight, normally you're experienced through hiker who already have done several tours and know for himself what works and what not. And usually you can't reach this with the first try, because you don't have the experience, or you can read everything on the internet, but you have to check for yourself what works and what not.
So I think it's almost like a sport. You go, if you have a hike that you regularly do, you can test each time to take less and less stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is there like do you know of any competitions or where people actually use this as a sport? Who has the lightest backpack?
I wouldn't say sport. There are kind of competitions, there are pack lists you can search in the internet. But again, it's really important on which trip you want to go, which hike, and how much experience you have. And it's pretty easy to leave stuff at home or to buy the expensive and lightest stuff. But I would say that won't work for everybody or for most hikers. So it's always a experience thing, in my opinion. And it's as you go lighter and lighter, you doesn't have comfort anymore. So you can take a 1 centimeter foam pad and sleep on the ground. I do this for my own when I was 20, but now I can't walk anymore the next day. So you have comfort issues, and whereas these, it's on every person it's different where this border is. So you have to carefully find out for yourself.
Yeah. And do you, because you have the store also, do you see yourself like trying out products a lot? Or?
Yeah.
Always.
Whenever I can. For sure, when you have a business, you don't have the time to go through hike anymore for weeks and months, so that's not possible. But I try as much as possible to try things out, to go out and actually use the items that I sell. Yeah.
What was your setup on this big trail that you did, the Pacific Trail? This was 2017, and at this time there was very few ultralight shops in Germany or in Europe. So I have to organize stuff from the US. That was pretty expensive at this time with all this custom stuff. So on my first try, we use Hyperlight packs. So these are Dyneema packs. It's still alive, it still works, but I have shoulder issues after 3 months or so, so I have to change the pack on trail. And we also have a Hyperlight tent at this time. It's like a pyramid tent, so with two poles stick together and make one center pole. And the tent still lives. There was a zipper issue, and but it works. We were two, and it was a great setup. And for the pack, you don't know when you buy a new pack. It doesn't matter the brand. You have to try it out, and you can use it you can try it in the shop and take the best one who feels the most comfortable for you. But you always know when you walk with 15 kilos for weeks, then you can hope for the best. And food, you just take these shock frozen packs that you can...
You can use this, but I don't know anybody who uses it for such a long time, because it's super expensive, and it doesn't taste after a week long of this food. You can't see it anymore. So we always make our food for our own with couscous and stuff like this, and pimped it up with some cheese and meat and whatever you want. On this trail you don't have to take care about calories, so you can't eat enough, so you don't have to as much fat as possible.
All right. I'll switch to the second type of lightness, the luminance or brightness. And architecture, this is a big topic, the daylight, how to handle openings of a building, shutters, transparencies, translucency of membranes, you have like sun protection. Then obviously with fabrics, I would guess the thinner it gets, the more light also comes through. Maybe in general, what do you think the aspect of daylight, what gear is important for this aspect?
For daylight, so UV protection is a big thing on the trail. So most of my clients had kind of sun hoodies, who you can wear this super airy, and you're protected for the sun, so you don't have to cream your body all day with sunscreen. So that's much more comfortable to wear. And see, normally for tents, when you use a super light tent, it's very thin, the material, so you see the sunlight in the morning, and it's a very natural feeling, because you wake up with the first sun rays, and even on some tents you can just use the inner tent and see the stars, and it's a super...
Because it's like a mesh. And
it's like a mesh, where you're protected from insects, and but you can look through and see.
It's like the most minimal threshold to the outside you can imagine. So in a way, it's also this feeling of lightness becomes more when you live with the rhythm of the sun, I guess, right? Yeah. And then, is there people who use like solar panels when you're far from electricity for a long time, or?
There are people who use this. For me, it's too heavy. So normally I use a power bank, and I try to minimize my smartphone use on these trips, and I have no problem to cover 5-6 days with energy from one power bank. But there are a lot of people who use drones and cameras and stuff like this, and use it really heavy, so then you need a solar panel. Yeah. But in my experience, it only works when you are at the camp and have a steady amount of sunlight coming in, and when you're on the move, it doesn't work properly, because then you're in the woods and shadow and clouds, and it's not so good for moving. Yeah.
Just thinking about this high-techification of gear also, right? There's a big community that shares pack lists, and there's people who like watch content only to see what gear do I have to buy. And you already said that you think people have to try it. Do you see like a problem in that?
I see a problem when I sometimes have customers when they come around and say, okay, I need this and this and this, especially this, and I saw this on the internet, and so you see this guy has lived in the internet for nights and nights and check gear lists, and but never was actually on a hike that lasts longer than 2 days. Yeah. So sometimes it's good to try stuff that fits your body, and especially for packs, there are huge differences, and you can't. If some kind of gear works for one person, it doesn't work for you, for everyone. So you have to, on some stuff, packs especially, you have to try. It's and you have to take this pack who fits you best. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a general problem with influencer and stuff. So sure, they test the gear, they use for themselves, but they can't tell everyone what's best for them or works best.
Do you like have a brand or product where you would be that's like your favorite or something like that over the years, where you felt like, okay, this is really sturdy, or this just works well?
So I work since the beginning of my shop. I work with ULA packs. They were made in Utah, and they had a great fit. So I mean, I have to say this, but it's the best fit for me for ultralight packs, because you have different shoulder straps, you have changeable hip belts, and you have a super sturdy material in different material options, and there are some of the some of the companies who made a really good frame in it, because especially for packs, you can use frameless packs. So that's for super ultralight guys, and framed packs who have a better load transfer for the hips. And if you can't pack your gear with maximum 10 to 12 kilos, then you need a framed pack, in my opinion. That works much better. And and these are one of the very few companies who make a really good ultralight pack with a frame.
With a frame, okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting when this threshold at 10-12 kilos you need a frame. And then if you go higher and higher, at some point it's also just not sustainable to have this weight hiking, right? What do you think what's the maximum weight you want to carry on a hike?
For me personally, I try to, for me the border at 15 kilos, so that I can carry comfortably for a long amount of time. And that's pretty easy to make for me. Usually I go with less, and you just need more if you want to carry more food or more technical gear like ice axes and stuff. So
what's the minimal weight?
The minimal weight,
0.
No, not 0, but usually
what's the lightest you have done on a hike?
I mean, when I make a day hike here in the area, I just got my trail running pack with just a few snacks, a bit of water, and a windbreaker. So I don't know how much it is. It's not much. Maybe 1.5 kilos or so.
Yeah. Do you sometimes just sleep outside?
Yeah.
Without a tent at all? Yeah.
Yeah, for good weather. So just for one night. I mean, it's super illegal in Germany and most Europe countries. Yeah. But when you don't use a tent and just roll up your mat when it gets dark and go away in the morning, normally you don't have a problem.
If you don't leave any trace.
That's super important. Yeah.
But then we can already go to the feeling of lightness, since we're talking about it already a bit. I like to think of the feeling of lightness can have these different dimensions, like it can be emotional, mental, or physical. It's usually people usually have a positive connotation with the feeling of lightness. Since in your shop and these activities, it's really about the physical lightness. Do you think that there's a correlation between emotional, mental lightness and the physical lightness?
Yeah, I think so. For sure, the physical lightness is pretty easy to explain, because when you carry less, you can do more with less gear. But the feeling of lightness, that's for me personally was the main experience on these long distance trails. So with such a small pack with all your stuff, and you can cover a month's long time, and since the middle of the trail, it was like you're a part of nature. I mean, sounds a bit crazy maybe, but I had the feeling I'd be part of everything around me, and it was a super good feeling actually, because you doesn't care anymore how is the weather, wild animals. You don't fear this stuff anymore. So, and that was a super good feeling, or a safe feeling, because you're so fit after when you hike, I don't know, 25 miles each day, yeah.
That must be interesting, this moment when you, or it's not a moment probably, it slowly happens, but you feel like you really live this right now, right? This is your life. I live on this little stuff. I don't know if it's also like a, not primitive feeling, but you feel like connected to how humans used to live or something like this, you know? This sufficiency, I just need these things. And I guess then there's also the aspect of nature, which is also lightweight, like natural structures are always the minimal possible material, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole...
And you see everything around you with a different view, like all small leaves from the flowers and from the trees, and that's I found it super intense. And a lot of people who come in the shop, I think they search for this simple purity, because our lives are totally far from it, yeah. And some people search for this to be more connected to nature and having less technique stuff around, and just go to the simple life, at least for a few months. So just make a vacation of all these
made up things that we created.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you miss it? Do you want to go back on a long trail trip, or?
Yeah, I think in a few years I want to go back. Well,
you do the east?
Maybe I do a different direction from the trail, or do a whole different trail. There come in a lot of trail ideas in Europe right now, like this hexagon trail that's crossing France on different, starting in the Pyrenees, and so you can. That sounds interesting to me, to cover the whole mountains and go up to Strasbourg, and can make this hike in a half a year.
Yeah, you just have to have the time for it, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Is there also something, because when you hike so long, don't you also get used to everything you see to the point where you almost can't appreciate it anymore? Does that happen at all? That you're like, okay, I've been in this foresty area now for days.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
That happens. I don't have this feeling so bad on the Pacific Crest Trail, because the landscapes are pretty different, and when it gets boring, usually it changes. So we go from these dry desert mountains to the high Sierra, and then to North California with a lot of forests. Oregon, a lot of forests, but with volcanoes and lakes.
That sounds good.
And then you have the North Cascades. It's also pretty scenic mountains trip. Yeah.
But did you ever miss comfort or city life in some form?
No, not really, because you can go in a city if you want to, but I don't really miss it there. We visit Portland at this time because we have to do some bigger shopping and with some healthy food and not only the gas station food. So when you're in a nice city, that's cool, but after 2 days you say, okay, I have no problem, I have to leave now.
And when you come back from this huge hiking experience, how is it to land back in the city?
I think it's, for most of the people, it's always different. After 6 months, I was glad, and I can go back to work and have some normal life with just live in a flat, go shopping, and what everyone
like an everyday
routine. Yeah, that was good. But after 1 week, I said, okay, I can start again. And I think sometimes it's harder when you're very young or just start your working career and do this trip before you start working. I can imagine that it's much harder, because you had this ultimate freedom experience, and then you have to start with this daily work routine, and so
in a time where you don't really appreciate routine at all, right? When you're young, you're like, okay, I don't really need this. And then you keep, because you said about this new trail, so you keep you get your updates on news around hiking. You probably have a network of people, or I don't know. I'm guessing there's quite a network of people who like this ultralight hiking.
Yeah, definitely. Now I do some Insta stuff, and had some influencer that works with me, and also had customers who check out stuff, and like these how is it called? Camino Retico. It's a new trail in Italy, where you can have this through hike experience. You can do this in 1 week or a little bit more or less, and you can camp there, or you can use a hut if you whatever you like, and that's super important for me. Then I can tell customers who want to try this for the first time, it's easy because you can never stop, or you are not in the super hard wilderness, but in a very scenic mountain area, and where you can just check out some gear or do some practicing before go for the big hike.
I feel like do you sometimes think that selling gear doesn't fit the idea of like having as little as possible on you, and this hiking, that there's like a contrast between the activity and the job? Or do you see it as a thing that makes it possible for you to try out all these things? Because that seems like a very special kind of job. You can try things.
Yeah, so I always kind of a gearhead, so I like new stuff, I like new materials, and I don't would say obsessed, but I really like this stuff, these kind of people who work in this industry, and but I always want, when I start with Crispx, I always want to do things differently. I want to have special brands who are not in every outdoor shop outside, and I want to help people to get out and do this through hike experience with the proper gear advice, because you can buy ultralight packs in the big shops, but the problem is you have to find some salesperson who are capable to explain you and get the right fit for you, and it's not so easy when you don't have the experience for your own to tell people what gear they should buy, because it's if you never sleep outside, you can't tell a customer buy this tent because it's super light, and that's it. So that was always my goal, to be at least in southern Germany or in this area, to be the guy who know what about the products.
And who's tried these things out.
And
although you probably can't try out everything, right?
No, not everything. But I mean, it's always when you have this ultralight stuff, you don't need much.
Yeah.
It's a pack, it's a tent, it's probably a down kilt, a mat, and maybe some clothes. So, and proper shoes, and that's the thing. So it's always not rocket science, but the fit is important. And and I mean the rest I have. When I moved the shop here to Langries, it's 2 different kind of customers. I have these ultralight guys who often order online or made an appointment and are here for hours to check out gear and get the best products for them. And I have the normal tourists and people from the area who just go in the mountains and want a proper fleece jacket or trekking poles. And that's when I said, hey, this is ultralight. Okay, they don't care because they just need normal outdoor stuff. So these are 2 different kind of customers. Yeah. And I have to have gear for everybody, because when I just have this ultralight stuff, I usually can do this from a garage and just do online sales. Yeah. But it's also have some climbing gear, some ski touring stuff, and even some lifestyle stuff. So that's more for the people who just swing by and say, cool cap, I take this one. So like the time of trends coming and going is not really something you think about. You think about gear that works, and although probably there is things that get lighter and lighter, and I mean there's also a limit to things, I guess. When Dyneema was released, people started to produce new lines of things that are lighter, but there's also at some point a limit. Yeah, you always have the balance between the weight and the abrasion resistance, for example, or the longevity, because you can make a backpack from a plastic bag, but it doesn't work. So I think for a frame pack, for example, when you have a good load transfer, it's about 800 grams to 1 kilo. That's at the moment it's limit that when you want to have it, that it lasts a long time. Yeah. And sure, there's some new materials around, these Alula Graphite. That's the super hot shit at the moment. And when you have a frameless pack, you can go under 400 grams. But maybe we have to wait 1 year how long it really lasts, because you have to not sew anymore, so you glue. And
we have to see if it lasts several years also. Okay, maybe a last question. I'm guessing there's a philosophy also behind this ultralight backpacking. Even before you had this crazy gear, not even depending on what gear you have, but just the idea of using less, right? I don't know if for you this big trail was the main influence of getting into this, or if you read about it, or is there like a...
Yeah, there is a story before the trail, because I sew some packs, or still sew some packs for my own or for good friends, and that's why the shop name is Chris Packs, because I had the name before I had the shop, and I started to read from Ray Jardine. It's a ultralight god or pioneer, and was a pretty good climber in the 70s, and invited the friend, this cam device for climbers, and he was a engineer at Boeing at this time, I guess, and he was the first one. When he was around 50 or so, he started through hiking, and was the first one who made his own packs, and he started his ultralight movement in the US. And I had a book from them, and that was pretty inspiring for me, because then I thought, okay, I can do this for my own and checking out stuff. And that was my approach to this ultralight stuff before I really use it. And
so he kind of brought because in airplane design, obviously it's about lightness a lot. It's also in architecture, lightweight architecture. You can also take a lot from the airplane engineering world, kind of. It also happens. So it's interesting that this airplane engineer brought it into this world. It's also when you say the force transfer, you said, right? The weight transfer.
Yeah.
It's like a word that engineers would use the same way for buildings. That the weight of the building has to come down somewhere, right? So there's funny correlations between these worlds, I think. All right, so maybe that's it. I still want to check out your store.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much for the interview. I thought it was very inspiring. Maybe you can tell the people where to find you, or where they can check out your store.
Sure. You find me on the internet on crispex.com, or if you're in the area, the shop is in Lenggries. It's 1 hour south of Munich on the beautiful Isar River. You can do a lot of hiking here.
It's so beautiful here. When we entered the city, it was like, oof.
So come by, check it out, or just send me an email if you have any questions where I can help you.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.